Hi, welcome back to another interview with Bruce Guiliani, who's our program coordinator for the smoking cessation program at Heritage Group Safety and the Heritage family of companies. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
So you all submitted several questions that you wanted me to pose to Bruce. I've gone through them. Of course, there's some overlap, which I would expect, but I want to ask some of those questions tonight. And, upload this video, and if you were working on a real evaluation project, this is what this would be like. You would be having a lot of conversations, and you would be teasing out the information you need from dialogue in a very collaborative way. So I'm trying to mimic that for you here in an online environment. So we'll just start with some of the questions that you guys sent in. First one, how many of the identified program participants have tried smoking cessation in another program previously? Is this their first attempt, or have they tried other ways to quit smoking?
I can't tell you the exact numbers, but I would say this is not the first time for anybody. Everybody had tried before. In my discussions with people, yes, I've tried this, I've tried that. People were successful for quitting for 6 months, a year, whatever. Everybody has said that. So it's not their first time, but I can't tell you it's their second time. I mean, American Lung Association says on average, people are not successful until their 7th time.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me, we've talked a little bit about the recruitment efforts by the program to recruit participants. So there was a postcard that went out to every company employee, and then you've mentioned emails to me. So can you tell the students about the emails?
Okay. We had, there was postcards put out to all employees. Then there were also emails from American Lung Association that go out. They go out about every 3 weeks or so, maybe every 2 weeks. But they just go out and remind people of the program and that help is available, because we do offer not only this class, but we offer an online class and we offer phone assistance for those people who are trying to quit on their own. There is a phone number where you can call, and there are people, now that's staffed by American Lung Association, but they're available to talk to you and coach you and etc. So it helps for those people.
So they're getting emails from American Lung. Heritage family of companies mailed them all a paper postcard about it.
Yes.
Do you think that those marketing techniques were effective? Do you think there's room for additional marketing materials? Is this something you'd like to hear more about from students, or?
Well, obviously we've not had a tremendous return on investment at this point, so I think that there's other options here. I think that the key to this whole program is the goal down the road is they're going to change the funding of our insurance program, and those people that smoke are going to pay an additional $100 a month over non-smokers. And I think at that point it comes home and changes things. I had contact from one person recently who had missed this last class, the enrollment date, but it was actually the guy's wife, and she told me, if she could get her husband enrolled, and I said, well, I could work him in. He could make up some classes, but I said we have this online thing, and so they talked about it, I guess, and she wrote me the next day and said that her husband would be doing the online class. Don't know if he will or not, but I mean that's kind of the concept. So.
But this isn't unique, because you've told me other stories of family support or family pressure, family peer pressure to get the smoking family member to quit.
Yes, I think that well, in the past, I've had people. I had one of the guys. He and his wife both smoked, but they had a new baby, and they both had decided that was time to quit. So they decided to quit. The one was in my earlier class, but his wife quit at the same time. I had sent them an extra book home, right, so that she could read through. There's work examples to work through, and there are things to write down. Part of the workbook, the design of it is to make you write down the reasons you're doing this, so that you admit, I need to quit because, and you physically have to write down. And I don't look at people's books going, what'd you write here? you wrote down something, and I tell people right up front that it's all on you. This is a personal thing. Smoking's your personal thing, and there's a personal reason why you want to quit, and you need to identify it. But you got to write it down so you believe it.
Mm-hmm. Put it on paper. That makes sense. Okay. So, you mentioned last time there were about 1,000 employees.
Yes.
In the 40-mile radius of central Indiana. How many of those are identified as current smokers?
Well, I'm sure we don't have a really accurate number. We have a lot of construction workers. We have a lot of mine workers working in the aggregates division. They are typically heavy smokers. I know about 20% of the population smokes, but I'm going to guess, given our population with the construction guys and the mine guys, most of them smoke. I'm going to say we're probably in the 30 to 35% range.
Mm-hmm. So about how many people is that then? Is that, are there 100 people or so?
300, 350.
Total or like per site?
No, total.
Total.
Yeah.
So
and within that
people,
1,000.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there are about 350 people and 1/3 smoke, that's 100 people that
Yes.
potentially would benefit from this program.
Yes.
So what barriers do they have that you can see? What are their barriers participating? Why aren't they already?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is people have to finally reach the point when they decide they do want to quit. And people I've talked to a lot of people about it. They're not in the program right now, but I've talked to a lot of people about it because my name comes up, and because I do get around to all the sites as I'm the safety person, and I do all the safety meetings, so I talk to everybody, and they do talk about this, and they all have a reason. At some point, their doctors told them, dude, you got to quit, or you're dying, or they've got a child, or maybe they just lost a parent because of a smoking-related thing. So they've all reached a point in their life, but you have to reach the point where you're willing to do it, or it's just not going to happen.
So from your point of view, people are not ready to quit. That's the biggest barrier.
Some people.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. It's one of those things. One guy I talked to started smoking when he was 8, and he's 50 now. And his doctor told him he needs to
calculate
this
the
is
pack
it.
years.
Yeah.
How many pack years
Oh, yes.
is that?
He needs to stop. He's already had 2 heart attacks. He's got all kinds of problems. And personally, I like this guy. He's a friend of mine. And I asked him, I said, how did you start at 8? He said, well, everybody thought it was really cute when he smoked at 8. And everybody knew he smoked at 8. So, I find that as a problem with society maybe back then, but that's neither here nor there.
It's not that long ago.
No.
Really?
No.
Okay. So another couple questions that you guys have sent in. Are there any other companies that have similar to the asphalt materials, to Heritage Group, that have run this program that maybe you could model years after?
I'm sure there are companies, but I'm not aware of that. American Lung Association, I'm sure, could tell us of similar companies. They're marketing this with companies all over Indiana, not just central Indiana. Of course, it's being marketed all over the United States. But I don't have that information.
So, switching gears a little bit,
Okay.
What kind of support or backing do you have to operate this program?
The one thing nice about being the safety person for the entire company is I don't have any barriers. I don't have any, no one's watching over my shoulder and saying you're spending too much money. I can do whatever I want. The first time I ran the program, we provided lunch every single time. And, there's never been any discussion on you can't spend any money. They're willing to let me go and do whatever I have to do. I just got to identify a need or a crowd that will do this.
So great leeway. So students, take out your books. Go to page 80. Some of your questions really represented the evaluation hierarchy that you see on page 80, the stair steps like this, the lowest being assessment for need of the program. And in my opinion, this is where they are. They are at the data collection needs assessment stage. So we sort of know, 20% of Americans smoke. Laborers, the type of employees that they have, in large part, are probably smoking at a higher rate.
Right.
So we don't have that data. You don't have that.
No, we don't have
really,
that.
that's a really great suggestion. So some of the questions that have been submitted about cost efficiency. Kevin.
We're video.
Kevin James. Go tell CAC I'm working.
We're on video.
My 3-year-old. So, but some of the questions about cost efficiency of the program, it's really, that is so far down the road.
Right.
So when you're writing
We're not
these
ready for that.
papers, I want you to adjust those questions so you're not asking about cost efficiency and impact outcome evaluation. We're not there.
No.
We are at the needs assessment data collection stage. So from my point of view, I would suggest thinking about how you might collect some data on the smoking rate and these different populations, different job sites. One suggestion I had just talking about this in an ideal world is if you could get someone who from that population, from that mine or from that milestones road construction, from that group of workers who quit smoking and they get trained to run this program and they run it on the job site. They will be grassroots gatekeepers. They will have a whole lot more confidence of the people who are considering smoking. They'll be much more effective. So we've talked about that a little bit.
Oh.
Go upstairs.
What?
Go upstairs and get your bath. 8-year-old.
Where's everyone else?
Excuse me.
Oh.
If you could get someone from that community to run the program, probably more effective. So we've talked about it a little bit, and you said...
And the problem is, I agree that if you get somebody who works with these people every day, they might believe that person more. But as a general rule, the labor force, those people are not ones. The reason they're laborers, as a general rule.
Kirsten Jane,
Yeah.
I'm working. You go right upstairs this minute.
Can I eat you?
No.
Mommy!
Kevin James Cecil, you go upstairs this instant. I will come to you when I'm done. As a general rule, the folks who are working on these job sites.
As a general rule, those people are not ones that want to stand up and talk. They don't want to be in charge of a program like this. They're not going to want to make a presentation. They quit smoking on their own for whatever reason it was. They're not willing to maybe stand up and talk. The whole point of me doing this and my group, my division, we are trainers. And everybody thinks that anybody can train anybody to do anything. It's not true. You got to have people who, number one, want to do it, and then number two, have the skills. And there's certain skills that we build in people that be able to stand up, talk, present the ideas, whatever they might be on whatever subject they might be, and then that person has to be competent enough to be able to answer questions on that subject. So, as a general rule, the laborers are not that person. If you have a laborer who shows those kind of skills, probably they've already been adjusted to a foreman. They've been promoted.
They've been promoted.
Yeah, they've been promoted to a more management level, because if they're showing that kind of gumption in their career, we need them moving up. The one thing that is advantage with myself and my people, we do safety classes for all of these companies, so I know all these people. I mean, I know all the laborers. I know all the guys that work at the mines. I know all the guys that work on the road construction crews, the asphalt crews. I know them because I see them within other classes. So that's sort of the reason I'm the one doing this.
That last time we talked, you said that one barrier